the best kids in the country want to go and wrestle in front of a lot of fans, right? So I think we averaged 2,500 fans this year, which is pretty good. We're typically in the top 10, but we need to continue to grow that, continue to build that. And, my goal is to try to pack Castle Coliseum for an event at some point.
Coach, you've certainly continued to build a nationally elite brand here in Blacksburg. And I know in order to do that, you have to take the long view sometimes. It seemed like last year you made some of those decisions to benefit the future. Makai obviously taking that redshirt year, but some of the younger guys like Sam Latona too. As you eye this upcoming season, how exciting then does that become with what your lineup will look like?
Yeah, I think looking at it, we're certainly excited. We knew what we had in the wrestling room that wasn't competing for us. We had some really good guys, and you mentioned a couple of them, but there's more than that too. And then we have a great recruiting class coming in. So I think that we're going to be significantly better in a lot of places next year, looking up and down the lineup with new guys that we have coming in, and then got some of the returning guys. So we're going to have some real battles on our hands for lineup spots, and that's a good thing as a coach.
How much does it help that you have such great wrestling locally? You bring in Nate Warden now again from Christiansburg High School. That's been a nice source of talent for you, and clearly the wrestling community locally here is very strong.
Yeah, it definitely helps. There's no doubt about that. It's probably the base of our fan base, and that was something that was in place long before I got to Virginia Tech. Christiansburg's always had a great program here for the last couple decades. They care deeply about wrestling. They're obviously knowledgeable, and they want to support. They want to support our program. They want to support a winner. And as you know, John, people in this area, they love the Hokies, and I don't think it's any different. And I tell coaches this all the time in our athletic department when they get hired and come in, that if you win, people will come out and support you. There's no doubt about it. The Hokie Nation is for real. It's strong. Their support is awesome, and we've been blessed to have a lot of people come out and be a part of that. But Christiansburg and Christiansburg wrestling, and what's been going on, over there for the last couple decades definitely has helped us, and we've benefited from it.
All right, Tony, give me the Tony Robie mat side demeanor. What are we hoping to portray while the action is actually happening? Because I think that's one of the most unique aspects of watching wrestling, is just seeing the different demeanors and postures and styles of coaches.
Well, ideally, I'd like to stay very calm and not say a whole heck of a lot in a perfect world. And sometimes I do a pretty good job of that, and sometimes I don't do a pretty good job of that. But, I do think that different guys require different things from the coach. In my opinion, staying calm is always better. Sometimes you have to get fired up, and sometimes you can't help but get fired up. But when you're at the NCAA tournament in the semifinals and in the finals, and those guys are out there wrestling, and there's 20,000 people in the stands, guess what? They can't hear a word you're saying anyway. So they might as well figure out how to get it done on their own early on in the process. And, typically that's what you're trying to do as a coach. You're trying to make sure that these guys are prepared when they step out there. And, we're there to support them, but it's their show. It's their baby. They got to be able to run with it. They've got to be able to make the decisions out there. And they've got to be able to get it done when the lights are on. So, I guess for me, that's ideally what how I'd like to portray myself or represent myself in the corner.
Tony, what I've admired about what you've done since taking over is you seem to push the envelope in terms of exposure to the program and realizing there are steps still to take. You take matches to the Moss Center. You take matches last year out to the baseball stadium, which was a phenomenal experience. What are the next steps as you have perennially been, nationally elite, but as you chase that national championship?
We have to continue building in every area, and there's I think a lot of components that go into building a national championship caliber team. One is obviously the wrestling part of it, and we have to continue to improve and get better, and continue to bring in high caliber guys with our recruiting, and then help them to develop while they're here. We also need to continue to develop our Southeast Regional Training Center, and try to continue to bring in and have world-class wrestlers around our athletes. So that's part of it, but also building our fan base. We've done a great job with that dating back to when Coach Dresser was here. I learned a lot from him in that area, just in terms of marketing and promoting, and the importance of having people invested in your program. And, so I think we've been able to build on it the last couple years, and making sure that the experience that people have when it comes to Virginia Tech wrestling, whether it's at a match in Castle, at the Moss Art Center, whether it's over at English Field, whether it's attending one of our practices that are typically open to the public, whether it's coming to a tailgate, being involved with one of our events, is a positive experience for anybody who wants to get involved.